plays. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. All right, CD, let's take a step back. Look at the AFC playoff picture with just 3 weeks to go. Hard to believe. Essentially, I think it's 7 teams for 6 spots right now. The Ravens are in, looking good for the number 1 seed, 11-2, essentially with a 2-game lead over the 10-3 Pats, who they beat in Week 9. Then what we got? Chiefs in the West leading right now. Texans currently ahead in the AFC South. How about that wild card picture?
Yeah, how about Buffalo? They had a tough loss at home to Baltimore, but boy, they're playing awfully well. And guess what? They go to New England next week. That game could have big ramifications. And the Steelers, how are they 8-5 on their 3rd, maybe essentially 4th quarterback of the year since they traded Josh Dobbs in preseason? Incredible job Mike Tomlin has done as the head coach there. But the team to keep an eye out for in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans. They are hot right now, 8-5, and running the heck out of the football with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mentioned the Texans currently holding the AFC South lead, but they also have that 8-5 record. It's going to be so well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. On play action, it's Mahomes. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Looking again that time for Amari Cooper. And it's 3rd down. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. And Mahomes is going to go down in the end zone, and that is going to be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. Oh. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about... You want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to, as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Thomas, the intended target. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that.
Into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Nick Chubb, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Extra point try now for Dawson. And that one makes this a 19-point game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
On 2nd and 10, Mayfield toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Mayfield now. He can run for it, and he will. He'll have a 1st down past the 40. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a 1st.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a 1st down.
Again, it's Cohen. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on 1st.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 38-yard line.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Mayfield now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now, meanwhile, a final play here is incomplete, and that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis as we've got the final quarter upon us. We get ready to start the 4th. To throw on 2nd and 10. Mayfield gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. Give him 2 yards on that play. And just like that, it's 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by 9-time Pro Bowler Ed Reed. And he'll take it all the way up near the 30-yard line. He was trying to hit Thomas that time.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
There he goes left side. 20, 10, touchdown, Cowboys. Nick Chubb, 77 yards. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. But go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That third one, that's the most spectacular run he's had in the ball game. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Now Dawson for the extra point. And that will bump the lead up to 26. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field. Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a second down. Mayfield. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan, and especially the execution.
He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. And again, it's Chubb. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Let's go deep, tighten up. Let's go deep, tighten up.
Mahomes going to throw it here. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Extra point try now for Dawson. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken in at the 1. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game? And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Anthony Brown. And running with power here. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
They go play action here on 1st down. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Cooper was the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Interesting, Mahomes wants to throw it. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowler, Jalen Ramsey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch.